Now to the race for the White House. Former President Donald Trump hitting the campaign trail with a rally tonight on the Jersey Shore. Earlier, Trump announcing on social media that former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley would not be his vice presidential pick, shutting down any previous speculation. Here's ABC's Perry Russell.
Tonight, former President Trump trading a New York City courtroom for the beaches of Wildwood, New Jersey.
We have to set high standards because this country has never been in a position like we're in right now. We're laughed at all over the world.
A rare campaign rally as he spends his weekdays defending himself in his felony hush money trial. Trump has denied all charges. Many here tonight still standing behind the former president.
If it was such a big deal, they should have dealt with it then, not now.
They want to make him look bad. They want to smear his name.
Our latest ABC News Ipsos polling finds 80% of Trump supporters say they will still support him even if he's convicted. 16% say they will reconsider, and 4% will withdraw their vote entirely.
If he's found guilty in that trial, would that change your vote at all?
No, it won't change my vote at all.
And as Trump trails President Biden in cash on hand, tonight the New York Times and ProPublica are reporting on an IRS audit, which they estimate may cost Trump $100 million if the IRS prevails from allegations of, quote, a dubious accounting maneuver to claim improper tax breaks from his tower in Chicago. ABC News has not confirmed the reporting. Trump's son Eric telling ABC News this matter was settled years ago, only to be brought back to life once my father ran for office. We are confident in our position, which is supported by opinion letters from various tax experts, including the former general counsel of the IRS.
You have to look at yourself as a person. Are you a perfect person? Is he a perfect person? No one is perfect, except for the man upstairs.
And this is a chance for Trump to get back in.
It's there, and whoever's his VP has to know, if you go at any time, if you break the loyalty oath to Donald Trump, like in the mafia, they're going to come for you.
The politically savvy people, if there are any within his camp, would probably say go with somebody like Nikki Haley.
Right.
She is still getting a little bit of support within the Republican Party. She can fundraise, and it would perhaps give a little bit of assurance for those Republicans that are not 100% MAGA-lights. Do you see that happening? Because there was a reporting, there it is on the screen from Axios, that she was being considered. Donald Trump fired out a tweet saying, or whatever it is, Truth Social, saying that ain't happening.
Yeah, and Donald Trump Jr. said, I will do anything to prevent that. I mean, look, Nikki Haley's still getting 20, 30% of the vote in states where she hasn't been on the ballot in months and months, which I think is also an important data point.
Yeah.
There are never Trump people who are going out and voting for someone who is not even in the race. And I don't know that those people come home to Trump. I'm not convinced. And so I would say I think it's very unlikely. She hasn't endorsed him.
Yeah.
And my take is everyone kept saying she's going to endorse, she's going to endorse. She hasn't endorsed. And I really think she, like Liz Cheney, are both trying to keep their powder dry for what happens if he loses.
What do you think? What's the play here for not just Nikki Haley, but for Donald Trump to go with as a vice presidential pick?
Cue the breaking news banner. He will pick a white man. Okay, America?
You think so?
He will pick a white man because that's what he's about. This is the man who bragged, first of all, about just recently that white people are being discriminated against in America. This is a guy who believes that he is the defender of whiteness. There's no doubt about it. You just had a great segment on MAGA, the core, is a white nationalist movement. Second, he again is bragging that he terminated Roe v. Wade. He said, I was honored to terminate Roe v. Wade, meaning he is happy that he took a fundamental right from women. He does not view people of color, nor does he view women as equals. He views them as inferior. He will pick a white man because that's what his base wants, and that's what he wants, more importantly. So we can play this tape back when he makes his choice. It's going to be a white guy.
All right, we will hold on to the tape.
Not convinced it's going to be a white guy. I think it could still be Sarah Sanders.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well,
I mean, I think it's more likely to be a white guy, but I think Sarah Sanders is still in it.
Close enough. All right.
White guy.
All right. Well, hold those thoughts. We've got a lot more to discuss.
As the border crisis gets worse by the day, Arizona lawmakers taking matters into their own hands to advance what could be one of the toughest immigration laws in the country. The new bill would allow state and local police to arrest those suspected of crossing the border illegally and shield them from civil lawsuits while mandating broad immigration checks. Our next guest co-sponsored the original version of the bill. Arizona State Senate President Warren Peterson joins us now. Senator Peterson, thank you for joining us. So it's kind of remarkable and kind of mind-blowing for a regular citizen to realize that you have to pass a law that allows you to enforce the law. It seems kind of crazy.
It is crazy. What's crazy is that we have a federal government who is completely creating a magnet for people to enter this country illegally because they have made it clear that they're not going to enforce federal law.
And, you know, it's interesting because, of course, the federal government, you know, it's a federal felony to cross the border a second time. And what you're encountering there on the border, this is not some theoretical thing for you. What you're encountering are people crossing the border again and again and again. And not only the federal government is not doing anything about it, but they're preventing you from doing something about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. And you're seeing, there's the numbers right there, literally a large city crossing the border every month. And the federal government is doing nothing about it. Now, Texas has passed a law which is deterring people. They're seeing fewer crossings. Arizona wants to follow suit. We want to give law enforcement the ability to detain and arrest people who are illegally crossing the border. And just to be clear, this is people that are, this deals with, this is really a border security bill. This is not really an immigration bill. It's us stopping people who are crossing the border illegally. It's not, it doesn't have to do with inside of the state or lawful presence. This is merely us picking up where the federal government has absolutely failed us and left our border wide open.
And of course, your governor, Katie Hobbs, is trying to claim that this is all political. Listen to what she had to say.
The biggest problem and failure recently is the fact that there was a bipartisan bill that was negotiated with the president and the Senate, and Congress refused to take it up, including members of Congress from our state who represent border communities, and they're continuing to call it a crisis and just politicizing the issue.
I'm sorry, real quick. Who's politicizing this?
They are, and it's completely ridiculous. We have put 10 bills on the governor's desk to secure the border. She's vetoed all of those. And so now we're going to send it directly to the voters, and voters are going to have the chance to secure our borders. And let's say even that she's telling the truth, even if we all know Washington is completely dysfunctional, and if they really aren't willing to secure the border, which our party is the party of securing the border, but let's say they weren't. Two wrongs don't make a right. We have to secure our border. Just because they're not doing it, that makes absolutely no sense for Arizona not to do it.
Well, no matter how dysfunctional Washington is, it's still illegal to cross the border. So thank you, Senator Peterson. Thank you for fighting the good fight.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
You too.
Now we're going to turn to Baltimore, where crews are set to use explosives to demolish part of the fallen Key Bridge. ABC's Ike Ajachi is there live for us right now. Good morning to you, Ike.
Good morning, Gio. It's been 6 weeks since that massive 1,000-foot ship slammed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge. And today, crews will use a controlled demolition to try to remove that big piece of mangled metal still stuck on the ship. Now, the plan is to use explosives to break up the large span of the bridge still on the ship into smaller pieces. Boats will then haul away those pieces, not only on the ship, but also in the water surrounding it. At that point, workers say tugboats will then be able to reach the dolly and tow it out of the Patapsco River. The plan was set into motion this week as the sixth and final body was recovered from the water. The planned demolition comes as officials released new body camera video of the first responders on the water searching for survivors in those first hours after the collapse. Now, we're learning the crew of the dolly will...
The U.S. Senator heading to trial tomorrow on federal corruption charges. New Jersey's Bob Menendez accused of accepting lavish gifts, including bars of gold, in exchange for doing favors for foreign governments. ABC's Rena Roy is here now with more on his possible defense strategy. Rena, good morning.
Gio, good morning to you. That's right. Menendez and his wife are accused of accepting bribes like cash, those gold bars you mentioned, and other perks from New Jersey businessmen in exchange for favors. And we're now learning he may blame his wife during trial, according to unsealed court documents.
Senator, can we have a few words with you, sir?
This morning, U.S. Senator Bob Menendez headed to trial this week, facing corruption charges. Prosecutors allege the former chairman of the powerful Senate Foreign Relations Committee and his wife Nadine accepted bribes for favors from several New Jersey businessmen and the governments of Egypt and Qatar.
Senator Menendez allegedly provided sensitive, non-public, U.S. government information.
Prosecutors say those bribes were paid in gold bars, a new Mercedes, and wads of cash. Some of it found stuffed inside the senator's jacket when the feds raided their New Jersey home.
If found guilty, Senator Menendez could face up to 20 years in federal prison.
Menendez has pleaded not guilty. His wife Nadine, who has also pleaded not guilty, will not go on trial until July because she faces medical issues. But in a new twist in the case, we're learning that the embattled senator may blame his wife for it all. Lawyers for Menendez indicating in a court filing that the senator lacked criminal intent since his wife didn't disclose anything to him.
It could be that Senator Menendez's defense team actually points the blame at his wife, suggesting that marital conversations show that he was not given the full picture of what these cash and gold payments were meant for.
Menendez could even take the stand in his own defense and implicate his wife Nadine by suggesting she kept him